College was a blast. Man, I had a great time. As an undergrad at UCLA, hanging around Westwood with my friends. But I wasn't happy. Deep down inside, I wasn't feeling satisfied. Then I found my turning point. Sir, is this Ramadan Academy? Are you still accepting applicants? Can I still enroll? Today's the last day. What time do I have to be there to sign up? Right now, I'm on my way. Every time. Where am I going? Where have I been? The month of Ramadan is here again? I'm not focused. I'm not committed. You're so alone. All you see is night and darkness all around. You feel so helpless. You can't see which way to go. Don't despair and never lose hope. A season of change. I can't let another one pass me by. What's that Ramadan International Academy sign? I found my way. I'm on the way. I can't miss another day. I can't miss another night. You can't repent and that it's way too late. You're so confused. Wrong decisions you have made. Haunt your mind and your heart is full of shame. The school of Ramadan is the school of life, so don't let another one pass you by. 'Cause Allah is always by your side. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. I want to experience Ramadan. I want to live it. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Assalamu alaikum, Professor.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wallahi, I'm sorry I'm late. I just found out about Ramadan Academy and I really want to join.
You came at the last minute. Go register your name and prepare for Ramadan Academy.
Really? All I have to do is register my name? I'm going to go do it right now, Professor. Turn to Allah. He's never far away. Put your trust in Him. Raise your hands and pray. Ooh, ya Allah. Guide my steps, don't let me go astray. You're the only one who can show me the way. Show me the way. Confirm. Show me the way. Show me the way. You feel like you cannot go on. You feel so lost and that you're so alone. All you see is night and darkness all around. You feel so helpless, you can't see which way to go. Don't despair and never lose hope. 'Cause Allah is always by your side. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. While watching the new moon sighting, it felt like a good enlightening. This day is alright, as the first Tarawih is tonight. With family around a nice meal, we're making dua and I feel how nice it is to be so near to those I love. Whenever we think of Ramadan, all the good things that we need to do and plan, it's not always easy, but we'll do the best we can.
Alhamdulillah, in Ramadan in Denmark, it is our celebration month where we fasting and make dua and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But here in the north, the day is so long. You can imagine Isha, it is about 11:30 at night, and the Fajr is 2 o'clock in the morning, and the people already, they are fasting and keep fasting. Also the kids, they are be happy to fasting Ramadan, and families separate together. And we make a new project this year in Denmark for first time. We will, every Muslim family will invite one non-Muslim with them to eat with them in Ramadan and their iftar, and to leave Islam with them in one day, to see how is Ramadan for us. We are very happy, even the day is so long, but alhamdulillah in Ramadan we invite many sheikhs from different Muslim countries to pray Taraweeh together. Even this year Taraweeh it will be so short, but alhamdulillah in the daytime we use it to recite Quran, to have many dars and to have many lessons, and we are very, very happy alhamdulillah to our Muslim community stronger and stronger every day, alhamdulillah.
Okay, now why don't you talk about Ramadan in this lovely country, Denmark. Talk about where you live, the people you break the fast with, even your non-Muslim neighbors, do you invite them for Ramadan? Talk about Ramadan in general in Denmark.
Ramadan in Denmark, mashallah, it has improved a lot since I began fasting as a teenager. Right now, I had opportunity on fasting in Egypt or in Denmark, and actually I preferred fasting in Denmark. Not because I don't want to fast in a Muslim country with a Muslim population, but I think the Ramadan and being close to the family and your local masjid and your local society, your jama'ah, is very important. And inshallah, mashallah, there's a lot of activities, giving food out to the poor, inviting non-Muslims to the masjid, and then just the Taraweeh and the shuyukh coming from outside. It's a fantastic environment, mashallah.
The first Ramadan, it was an obligation. It was not a delight. Let me say it quite frank. It was hard, and I worked as a, I don't know what's called, kind of carpenter, worked with furniture, and there was a lot of dust, and you know, it filled up my throat and my mouth, and it was not easy because I always wanted to drink something just to clear the mouth and the throat, but I couldn't. So it was no delight. It was a duty, and in the beginning it was hard, and there was no, I'm sad to say, there was no community that took me inside and took me to iftar and so on. And I lived in Næstved at that point, and the community there I didn't know at that point. I didn't know where the mosque was, because I prayed in a mosque where I worked 50 kilometers away from my hometown, and so I think I was to one iftar in the whole first Ramadan.
What about 10 years later? Is the experience better?
The experience is special because you are not in a Muslim land. You know, the atmosphere, if we live in a Christian society, when it's Christmas time, they decorate the streets, you see it on TV, you see it in advertising, everywhere it's Christmas. And it's a feeling, the sounds, the music, everything reminds you of your former culture. And this makes a special atmosphere that makes people happy. But as a Muslim in a European country, it's hard, because when you go to work, there's nothing that connects you to Islam, nothing that reminds you to Islam. You see your colleagues eating, drinking. You know, there's nothing that reminds you, that there's no atmosphere that makes you delightful, or you know, you have to make it. Now it's to about almost 10 o'clock in the evening, from 3 p.m. in the morning to 10 o'clock in the evening in Denmark now, here in the next Ramadan. And it's a long fast, and that's why, you know, as a Muslim community, we have to help, we have to support and remind ourselves and each other about who we are, and make this kind of atmosphere ourselves in our closed environment, because the environment here in the West is Christian.
Yeah.
So you have to go to the mosque to get this feeling, and maybe in the morning there's suhoor. In the morning in the mosque, the 10 last days of Ramadan, and you can eat and you can sit with the Muslims and eat your breakfast, before you go and fast the rest of the day. And this is actually the real, what's called, where you get the real feeling. People sitting around, we just pray, Qiyam al-Layl, and we stop up eating suhoor, then we wait for Fajr, and then we pray Fajr, and then we go home.
Inshallah, you'll find your way.
Only if we knew Allah, we would truly worship Him.
How can you worship someone you don't even know?
We would love Him, fear Him, and have hope in His mercy.
Wallahi, wallahi, wallahi. And I challenge anyone in the earth, anyone in the world, to tell me one time in their life that they took the means and they put their trust in Allah and Allah let them down.
Only if you knew with Majid Mahmoud in Ramadan, only on Huda TV.
Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for joining me. I'm joined by a very special guest. We're on location here in Copenhagen, Denmark, a lovely city, a lovely country. We're very pleased and honored to be among our Muslim brothers and sisters here. And we're part of the Danish New Muslim Conference. We're joined by perhaps one of the most prominent Muslim Danish public speakers here in all of Denmark. Of course, I'm sure you know him as a participant in our program, also the Ummah Tonight, Sheikh Abdul Wahid Peterson. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Thank you so much for taking time to be here with me.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, we would like to speak briefly about this conference, the Danish New Muslim Conference. What was your role in this conference? What is the goal of this conference? What is the purpose of the Danish New Muslim Conference?
Well, first of all, I'm just a guest. I'm a speaker at the conference. I haven't had any role in arranging it. Alhamdulillah, we have some good and active brothers and sisters who have taken care of that, and that's the way it should be. And then some people like me come in and say a few words and go again. That's what I do mostly. I'm sort of a loudmouth and a speaker, and that's what I do. I think this is a very important event actually, because it stresses that it's for Muslims. We have, as I just mentioned in my speech in here, we have a lot of people coming to Islam. In my own office I see every year like 60, 70, 80 people take Shahada. And for that reason we have to cater for them. We have to make sure that there are things that are addressing this community especially. Because we have a lot of conferences in Arabic and Turkish and Urdu and whatever language, but being Danes, we're somehow disattached from this unless we understand that particular language. For that reason, some of us, even more than 15 years ago, started working deliberately towards the goal of having Islam happen in Danish in many places in Denmark. And 14, 15 years ago, I started giving khutbah every Friday in Danish. Because we realized that so many Muslims, be they new converts or be they kids from immigrants, don't understand what's going on in the mosque. There's a wise man talking for half an hour, giving a khutbah in a foreign language. And of course, if you know that language, you will benefit from it. But if you don't, you'll benefit from the social gathering. That's about it. But the whole idea of khutbah and of Salat Jum'ah, of course, is also that you should go out of there with some kind of benefit. You should bring something with you out of there. So we've been for many years now. We've been doing khutbah in Danish in order to make sure that the new generation and the newcomers actually know what's going on, and that they will get some kind of teaching along with them. So this conference, I see it as part of the same struggle towards opening up for Islam in Danish.
Here across the street, we see many supermarkets and restaurants from people originally from Morocco. We see a vibrant Turkish community, a Pakistani community, as you mentioned just several minutes ago in your speech. So do you feel like the Danish Muslim himself is almost left out as Islam grows in Denmark? Is the Danish Muslim himself, the Dane, is he being left out? Is he unable to create an identity for himself or herself as Muslim and a Danish Muslim? I mean, is that the case?
To some extent, but I can't blame anybody except for myself. Because, of course, if you are Somali and living in Denmark, you will get together with other Somalis and you will speak your language and you will preserve your culture and all of this. I mean, it's perfectly normal. So if we as Danes are being left out, then it's our own fault, because there's nobody who's going to do it for us except ourselves. So if we don't pick up on this, and this conference, of course, for New Danish Muslims, is part of this picking up on this particular matter. So we have to do it for ourselves. Nobody else is going to do it, and I think it's perfectly okay that the diaspora Muslims from different parts of the world have their own setting and their own interests. But then also it's something which takes time. It doesn't happen overnight when a world religion is entering into a new place. It takes maybe a generation or two, or maybe even more. In Denmark, we know for a fact that the language in the church was German or Latin up till a few hundred years ago. Although the Christianity was here for 1,000 years, then it's only within the last few hundred years that they actually started speaking Danish in the church. So development is very often slow when we're talking about massive phenomenon like a religion shifting into a new place. And historically, 30 years, which is, we can say, or 35 years, which is the span of the Islamic history in Denmark, historically this is a very short time. This is just like an overnight session, which has happened so far. So we have to have a little bit of patience here, a little bit of stamina to say, well, these things are going to happen, but it takes time. Presently, I'm having a Danish imam dress designed and tailored. Because when I go addressing the crowd in the mosque, I will put on an Indonesian hat and a Pakistani kameez or Moroccan jalabiya and this and that, you know. But where's my Danish outfit? You can recognize an Egyptian imam because he has this particular Egyptian dress, or an Iraqi or this and that. But where's the Danish imam? So right now I'm having one design, and I hope to introduce it at the next Eid coming up, and I will lift a little bit of the veil here and say that it's been actually inspired by what we can call a Danish traditional dress. So it's built on Danish historical reality, but altered to become a Muslim dress.
I think this is amazing. I think it's very helpful and beneficial to the continuation of Islam in Denmark. I think it's a very beautiful thing that you're doing. May Allah bless you in your work. I have to ask you this, Sheikh. This is my first time in Copenhagen. Truly, I'm really impressed. I've never been to such a lovely country with such lovely people here in Denmark. I'm really amazed at how beautiful this country is. My question is to you, will Denmark avoid the problems that Islam and Muslims face in other European countries as far as integration and understanding and opposition to Islam in Denmark? And how can we avoid that? How can Islam smoothly become part and parcel of Danish society without having this contradiction?
Well, I think part of it is that language will be shifted. Because if you're, for instance, a taxi driver, you're driving around Copenhagen and you have your Danish customers in your car and you're speaking Danish and you've been born and raised in Denmark, and then you stop your car and you go into the mosque and everything's happening in Arabic or in Turkish. And then you get back out in your car again and you're back into Danish. Well, then Islam is not an integrated part of the rest of what you're doing, because it's happening in different language. So the language shift is one part of it, to make it become an integral part of Danishness. So it's a long haul we're onto here. that's one thing. Another thing, of course, is that we as Muslims, we have to recognize that we're all ambassadors for Habib Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He brought the best thing to mankind, and he did it up against the wind, but he did it with his beautiful character. I mean, there's never been a person with such a beautiful character as he had, and because of that, he won the hearts and minds of people. If we are not doing our best to take from him and put his way of being into reality in our world, then we're not going to succeed very easily. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of Muslims who have a conduct and a way of acting in society which is very much contrary to what was taught by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that somehow backfires on the whole community. So we have to build ourselves. I think one of the most important things we can think of here is spiritual training. We have a lot of physical training, fitness centers, workout, this, that. We have economical training. How do I manage my business in the best way? We have power training. I want to be the captain. I want to be the boss. I want to be this. We have all of these trainings, but where's the spiritual training? So if we build the man from inside, then we can build a nation. But you cannot build a nation just by sort of bringing in outer framework if you have corrupted people inside. So we have to start in here. If we don't start from in here, it's not going to happen. So.
And one final question, Sheikh. The immigrant communities that arrive from Denmark from all around the world, they enjoy the wonderful luxuries of living in this beautiful country. So isn't it also incumbent on them to have some cultural sensitivity? For example, not insist on giving the khutbah in their native language, not insist on only teaching their children perhaps Urdu or Turkish. Shouldn't they have a little sensitivity and understand in order for the long run for Islam to really be part and parcel of Danish society, they have to make an effort to learn Danish and to speak Danish. For example, if we travel to any Middle Eastern country, the khatib or the speaker on Friday will most likely give the khutbah in Arabic and in his local dialect even. So how important is it for immigrant communities to emphasize learning and speaking and teaching Danish to their children?
Well, it's very important, but I actually think they're doing it to a great extent. They definitely are aware of this and they are working with it. The problem, as I see it, is that the centers, the Islamic centers, are still alienized from the Danish community in the way that they're actually conducting 90% of their services in another language than Danish. But I see that people are generally, they're very much aware of this and they are very conscious about their children learning Danish and becoming citizens of this country, etc. But at the same time, we also have to recognize the rights of people to protect their own culture. I mean, if Danish people travel out of Denmark, they will get together in little Danish groups and they will preserve the Danish language and the Danish traditions. So it's perfectly normal that when we have minorities of other nationalities in Denmark, that they get together to preserve their particular culture and tradition, and they should do that. But at the same time, of course, it's important to emphasize the necessity of having all of this Islamic fabric become an integral part of Danish society. And that must necessarily happen in Danish or in English, but not in Arabic or Urdu or Kurdish or whatever. I mean, these languages are too alien to the Danish community. You have somebody come into the mosque, a visitor, a guest, and the imam is speaking Urdu or he's speaking Somali. Now, how would these people even understand what's being said? So we have to make sure that communication is clear. If we don't have a clear communication, nobody's going to understand us. And clear communication here means even speaking a language that people will understand.
Dr. Rafiq, thank you for your words of wisdom. I couldn't agree with you more. I look forward to having you on future programs, inshallah, Sheikh Abdullah. I certainly appreciate it. And you guys at home, I certainly appreciate your time as well. And thank you for enjoying Huda TV's extended and exclusive coverage of the 2013 Danish Muslim Conference here in Copenhagen. Until next time, I leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You feel so lost and that you're so alone. All you see is night and darkness all around. You feel so helpless, you can't see which way to go. Don't despair and never lose hope, 'cause Allah is always by your side. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah.